Вітаю, це ми.
Good afternoon, this is Media Center Ukraine, Odessa. We continue for today with the briefing about the current security and humanitarian situation in the region. And we are having with us Serhii Bratchuk, spokesman for the head of the Odesa Regional Military Administration. Mr. Bratchuk, the floor is yours. Glory to Ukraine. I would like to welcome everyone and then share the information about security and humanitarian aspects of the region as of noon on the 31st of March 2023. First of all, I'd like to say to everyone that all the relevant bodies and institutions are there and work. So all critically important infrastructure facilities, utility companies, medical and social institutions are fully operative. They continue working for our common victory. During the current week, severe weather conditions temporarily left more than 170 settlements in the region without power supply. On the 28th, 29th of March, power workers managed to restore power supply to the homes of 222,000 users in 174 settlements that were cut off due to bad weather. Responsible units are now dealing with individual emergency cases. The Odesa Regional Military Administration are in full contact with power workers. There is still storm warning, and I would like to remind here about the mine danger on the coast of the Black Sea, which is our front line. So please behave. Don't use beaches, don't use the Black Sea coast because there can be mines in the sea and they can detonate and be brought on beaches. To eliminate the consequences of adverse weather conditions, 78 brigades consisting of 234 workers and 85 pieces of equipment were involved. In total, 84 overhead lines were repaired during the week, making it possible to restore 2,251 transformer substations. As for the grain deal, on the 3rd of March, 6 vessels with Ukrainian food left the ports of so-called Big Odessa, including the vessel with 27,000 tons of wheat for Egypt. We have exported 1 million tons of Ukrainian agricultural products to Egypt. As of the evening of the 30th of March, 89 vessels are awaiting inspection in Turkish territorial waters. Today, on the 31st of March, 2 ships are scheduled to leave from Yuzhne and Chernomorsk with 103,000 tons of agricultural products, corn and oil, headed for the ports of India and China. 2 vessels are expected in Chernomorsk and Odessa seaports, ports for loading of 204,000 tons of agricultural products. In total, since the 1st August 2022, 857 vessels exported 26 million tons of Ukrainian food to the countries of Asia, Europe, and Africa from the ports of Big Odessa. So last week I reported 25 million tons, and now we have reached the amount of more than 26 million tons. As for educational issues, there are 69 educational institutions that are now entitled for classroom training. 2 additional security classes have been introduced because children should know how to survive facing the war. And I would also like to welcome all students and their parents that holidays in most schools are over on Monday, and children will be able to continue their online, offline, or mixed form studies and I would like to wish everyone successful learning. Approximately from the 3rd of April to the 31st of May, parents will be able to submit documents to have their children enrolled in the first grades of educational institutions in Odesa. For those who, for objective reasons, will not be able to submit applications in time, a database of free places will be formed, so that process will be uninterrupted. As for IDP's database, since 2014, 218,550 persons, including 56,652 children, have been registered in the unified database of internally displaced persons in Odesa. Every month, 190 internally displaced persons are provided with humanitarian aid. Apart from them, more than 50,000 food kits have been disseminated. Medical service have been provided to more than 68,000 persons, and healthcare services have been provided to more than 30,000 persons. More than 9,000 persons received educational services, including 1,000 more than 1,000 preschoolers. The regional state administration has an IDP hotline. The information is published on the website of the Regional Military Administration. The hotline has received 11 calls over the past week, all of which have been dealt with. It is also very important to remind IDPs that there are more than 1,000 current vacancies in the Odesa region, and their employment will improve their social status and will help our educational and medical care areas. The greatest need is for teachers, 364 vacancies, doctors, 265 vacancies, and workers, 166 vacancies. Now let's get to agro-industrial sector. The sowing campaign was the first to start in our region, and we hope that this year we will have enough precipitation and we will have at least as good harvest as last year. The responsible department of the Odesa Military Administration have developed a roadmap to implement land reclamation reform in Odesa. Proposals from the Odesa region regarding the support of the wine and grape industry have been considered in the relevant decree of the Cabinet of Ministers and the future law on grapes and viticulture products. Ukrainian agrarians, in particular in Odesa region, actively use credits from the state. I know that now people ask if we will have bread in Odesa region. We will definitely have it, and Odesa has become an important food hub, which is important for our victory. In Odesa, the vaccine bus continues to run actively for the vaccination campaign against COVID-19 and routine immunization during the war. We remind you that COVID has not disappeared. People continue to get sick. In March, we observe an increase in morbidity. Therefore, all healthcare workers in Odesa region urge all residents to be responsible and undergo all the necessary vaccinations. The vaccination bus takes residents of the communities to the vaccination points. Such buses are used for the population that live in remote areas. The Ministry of Health has transferred 4 buses to our region, which will run in the Podilsky, Rozdelnyansky, Izmailsky districts and in the city of Chornomorsk, covering, of course, the residents of the Odesa district. The next departure of the vaccine bus is planned on this Saturday to the Mayaki community. there is one more important topic, and perhaps we'll have a separate briefing for this, which is the check of the diet and food of patients in some healthcare facilities. I know that this topic is actively discussed and widely discussed, including by volunteers. We have checked all the complaints, and there will be disciplinary sanctions basing on the results of these checks, and we will be able to report about these checks a bit later. I would also like to remind that repairs and construction, which were frozen due to the start of a full-scale war, now continue to resume in healthcare facilities in Odesa. In particular, today in the Safyanivska Central District Hospital of the Ismail district, a renovated children's block of the infectious department with 80 beds has been opened. Repairs began there in 2021, but it was possible to resume them only in September last year. So we keep working to achieve our joint victory. I would like to wish you health and peace. I have a question from the journalists watching online broadcast. How many security classes there are in Odesa region, and what district has the biggest number of operative school, and which district has the smallest number of such school? As for the second question, I'll be able to provide information later. As for security classes, we have now more than 60 of them in Odesa region. We have quite a lot of them in Odesa and Belgorod-Dnistrovsky area. There is the question about mobilization of agrarians. So there are decrees, but if you would like to get more information, I think we can be prepared for a separate briefing. There is a decree of the government that provides all details about what parts of the population are not called to the army. Thank you very much. That was Serhii Bratchuk, the spokesman to the head of the Odesa Regional Military Administration. Our next briefing will be at 1 p.m. See you.